Developed by Platinum Games, Bayonetta is an action-adventure hack-and-slash video game that was released in Japan 2009 and later in Western markets a few months after. The main protagonist is Bayonetta, an overtly sexual female character who goes around beating and crushing those who dare halt her in achieving her goals. The topic that will be used to analyze Bayonetta through are gender and sexuality and ethics regarding addiction and censorship. The portrayal of gender and sexuality in video games have been previously dominantly traditional. Concerns regarding the representations of gender and sexuality in video games are on the rise since the particular media is becoming increasingly more apparent. Children often attempt to find definitions of gender through occurrences which they witness every day. So when they witness female characters being stereotypical, they might pick up and adopt the mentality and behavior. These can include being usually helpless, incapable of protecting themselves, and often wearing tight clothing which outlines their curves. Bayonetta, as the main protagonist of the game, is portrayed as independent, confident, and highly capable. She breaks the preconception of female characters in video games by straying away from traditional female stereotypes. The attitude that Bayonetta portrays throughout the game is a more accurate representation of what a female is in today's society. She is an empowering figure and a better influence on young women than the meek heroines in previous games. While Bayonetta may be a feminist icon in terms of breaking traditional gender stereotypes, what could the same be said for her portrayal of sexuality? Throughout the game, Bayonetta is often seen hypersexualized. There are many instances in which she flaunts her ideally proportionate body. The gameplay mechanics, in terms of attack sequences and special moves, emphasize the fact that the most powerful effective attacks are when she is closer to full nudity. Portrayals of hypersexuality and an ideal body proportion in media have caused eating disorders. Some have said that the use of sexual content in games is an attempt to lure the typical gamer, which was previously predominantly male. However, reports have concluded that the ratio between male to female gamers are more or less equal. Hence, the female gamers may feel discouraged about their own body image if they are led to believe that one should achieve the same body image as Bayonetta. This motive could possibly influence young female gamers to be proactive in weight loss through exercise, or develop unhealthy weight loss methods leading to eating disorders. Moving on to ethics. Ethics in video games have always been an important concern during development. One of the many ethical concerns which developers must take into consideration is addiction. There are many cases which show evidence of video game addiction. Most cases show gamers tend to rely on games to fulfill functional motives, such as the need for advancement, mastering game mechanics, need for relationships, and escapism. Of these functional motives, mastering the game mechanics is deemed important in Bayonetta. The game features a grading system at the end of every chapter the player manages to complete. They are graded based on their combos, time completion, and damage taken, and are given bonus awards for performing better. Players can also unlock additional content such as a new playable character, John, if they manage to achieve pure platinum, the best grade, in every chapter. This feature encourages the player to spend excessive amount of time and effort to master the game, leading to overindulgence and commitment to the game, which leads to unfortunate results such as death. Another ethical issue developers have to deal with is censorship. The recommended age classification they include in their games are a sort of classification that's generally accepted by the public. However, there have been instances in which games are censored after the release despite facing no problems previously. Games like Fight of Gods have been banned in Malaysia as it is deemed offensive content and a threat to their multiculturalism. Bayonetta is a game which includes many references to Roman Catholicism. The scenery of the environment, the buildings, and villages all make references to Vatican architecture. The antagonists of the game and what the game perceives to be the bad guys are angels, which are all titled after the seven heavenly virtues. Should censorship be considered in the game, as it can be argued that Bayonetta makes an attack on religion, hence can be deemed a negative influence on religious players. This could prevent the release of future sequels of Bayonetta, or any games which typically include religious references as developers may deem the concept to be disliked by the general public and hence unprofitable. Overall, Bayonetta is a game which challenges topics like traditional gender roles, portrayal of sexuality, encouraging addiction into the game, and censorship due to tackling controversial topics. Thank you for listening.